Oh, I was gonna eat more chips.
And welcome to the Laughter 500. Hello there, everyone. Any of the in chat at the moment. Are getting ready for round 2 of the GT3 Legacy series from Hungaroring. Up there at the top, the practice is closing up now, and we will get this thing underway. I really hate this game with the way that the camera works because the pit lane only has
one camera.
Camera 1. And so whenever you're on camera 2, because camera 1 is awful, like for literally anything, camera 1 is useless. So camera 2, the one you're using, whenever you cycle through someone who goes into the pit lane, it resets your camera, and it's just beautiful. Just beautiful. I don't understand why couldn't they just make camera 1, camera 2, and all that just identical? Just make it identical. And it doesn't affect me. Yes, it's only one camera. Just make it where they both route to the same camera. Well, that can't be too hard. But whatever. Hopefully the audio levels will be fine because I actually didn't get to test them. Because I was just explaining to Dom prior to this race that OBS apparently went and uninstalled everything for me, and so I had to reset it all up. That was cool. Hence why we had such a dead zone there to start this during that practice session. Also, it started raining outside, so hopefully that doesn't start to get too loud to the point where you guys...
It was raining over here. Not so much now.
How the shack do you live in that rain has to be so much noise?
Well, I sit about, I don't know, like 6 feet, not even, maybe even like 5 feet from my window.
I was gonna say 3.
And I have a big old, like, double glass pane window that just echoes the sound of the rain hitting it.
All the sound.
Nice.
But I guess it doesn't get too much louder in my PC. I don't hear that either, so that's cool.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Well, you guys do hear my keyboard clicking though. So
Oh, I was gonna change that.
Oh yeah, we hear that furious button. That should.
you know, GRG eSports is not only a sim racing group. We're also an ASMR group. In case you didn't know.
Oh gosh. Do I need to get the crunching chips out now? Is that what's been declared?
Qualifying is getting underway here from Hungaroring. Introduced this week, for those of you who are here and just joining us, introduced this week was a BOP for this class of cars. The Lamborghini and the Audi both got, what was it, 200 kilograms? Or 20, sorry, wasn't it 20 kilograms?
10.
No, it was 20. I don't know why I said 200, not 200, 20.
Well, it's
10.
10.
Okay, it's 10. I'll leave it up to the technical advisors there. I don't know, I jumped to 200 because that was, I don't know why.
20% of the car.
But 20.
10.
Was what I meant to
Stop it.
say was 20. 10 is what it is.
It's still
I'm
wrong.
anyways. Doesn't matter. 10 kilograms. We're testing out some BOP for the cars because they were a little bit too quick. Although I don't think 10 kilograms is going to make the difference between being fast or not, because that's the equivalent of 1 lap's worth of fuel. So it really doesn't make a difference. But we'll see.
All the fuel.
Yeah, it's probably maybe a 10th of that on average. Really.
I've personally, especially in the Lamborghini and Audi, I have found that more weight is better in that car, especially whenever it comes to fuel, because of the fact that they have front fuel tanks, and so having more fuel in the car actually gives you somewhat of grip on the front end, especially in that Lambo, because that Lambo doesn't have any grip. It is so understeery. But I mean, that's just my personal opinion and what I found with driving them. It all depends on how the game adds the weight. That's kind of what I'm curious about, because it's one thing you just kind of like raise the weight, but it's different to give weight in a specific spot of the car. And so I'm kind of curious as to how the game actually like handles that. If it's like, oh well, we added, you know, a half a pound all the way around or a half a kilogram all the way around the car on all these different spots, or if they like just drop it right in one spot. Kind of curious.
Most real life series we see, they put it where the passenger seat normally is.
Yeah.
So Super GT does that. British GT used to do that. A Radical Championship used to do that and put it where the passenger seat was, but I very much doubt they'll do this. It'll be plonked right in the middle, the dead center, probably on the what's it called? The thing where you can put a car or like object on a stick, and if it's in the middle, it won't tip. Or the center of mass. There you go. That's the thing.
Oh, I thought it was a cup holder.
Balancing it. No, it'll probably be on the center of mass of the car. That's where they'll put it.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. Well, the center of mass, center of gravity wouldn't exactly be the same spot, too, though. They could be putting it on the center of gravity as well, which would be a bit lower in the car than the center of mass.
Low, yeah. I doubt they've gone to that sort of level. They've just gone, there's the middle, done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how exactly with the game how that they code weight in general, because, I mean, they could simply, it could just be a value like, okay, this car has this much weight and then it produces this much downforce and the tire has this much grip, so here's how it should perform. And maybe it's just a calculator like that that just, you know, brings out, so they just add 10 kilograms to that weight. Maybe it just, I don't know how games code like that, but that is interesting. As our first laps are being set here, Gavin Moore in the Lamborghini jumps his way up to the top. Obviously, there are there's technically two Lamborghinis that are in this Ryder Engineering Lamborghini Gallardo, and then of course the actual Lamborghini Huracan. As a Jaguar jumps its way up into P2, that's different. It's always nice to be able to see these different cars. This Jaguar here in particular running those endurance headlights in the front, really giving it a very natural look up in the front of that car. Yeah, very strong nostril.
Sniffing the pole position.
Jaguars are sort of for the refined gentleman, you could say. And that car literally looks like an 8-year-old man. At the front. We have a GTO as well this week.
Yes.
Excitement.
If I'm correct, the I can't remember the name. I can see the last name, but I'm trying to remember the first name.
Polio? Not Polio.
Let me look at my entry list here. But they're fairly new to at least PC sim racing, from my knowledge. Unless I'm wrong. Very new to ACC, though.
Paulo Ladino?
Yes. Paulo.
Yeah, it's always great to see newcomers getting their way into sim racing, and we're always welcome to be able to bring in new people and help them have a chance at getting used to racing. They're playing it dangerous and opting for that Nissan. It's a car you really never see driven in this game, and I mean, kind of understandably, the car is definitely one of the lacking cars in this game, I'd say. It just drives very odd. I mean, kind of to be expected. I mean, look at the thing; it's just a giant brick. So definitely a risky choice there. But I will say, if they can get used to that car, then they should be able to get used to just about any car in this game.
Kind of missed this out, but the Jag is currently on pole, driven by Martin Schaffer. Probably butchered that, but
Schaefer, I think.
Schaefer. Ah, yes.
Pipped by Woodrow.
Oh, there he comes.
A typical fourth run.
And in comes.
Forerunner.
Oh crap! I meant to start that.
In comes the guy who hasn't lost a race in, what's it been, like 5 months?
Something like that.
It hasn't been that much actually. He lost the one. To be fair, he did get spun, but he still lost the race because Mike ended up winning.
Oh yeah. That was in GT4, right?
No, Porsche Cup. First round of Porsche Cup.
Oh really?
Yes.
Okay, so 2 months.
Yeah, basically.
Nope, I don't want to be doing that. This is the final one opener.
Woodrow's definitely he's definitely one of our dominant drivers here within GRG eSports, and definitely the standard whenever it comes to looking for pace here. Halfway through qualifying now, 7 minutes remaining.
Here we go. Now pit wall life set up. Yeah, I almost forgot to set that up. I know I'm bad.
It's definitely a learning curve going from say something like Project Cars 2 or Forza Motorsport on an Xbox or PlayStation or Gran Turismo as well, and then jumping into something like Soda Corsa Competizione or R Factor or anything like that on the PC. Is just I mean, even going from Project Cars on your Xbox or PlayStation to Project Cars on your PC, you'll definitely it's a lot different, and it's a heck of a learning curve because the driving is much more intense, I'd say, within the PC those games, and then it only gets more intense as you get more and more into sim racing. So it's definitely going to be a learning curve for anyone who's newly getting to PCs.
Yeah, they haven't exactly made their life easier by choosing the damn Nissan. But it's nice to see variety. I'm all for the variety.
It was kind of the idea of this series, was to kind of mix up a little bit and get some different faces in here. Different faces of cars, different looks.
Car faces.
Yeah, that's what I meant by faces, like badges, different badges.
Yeah.
That the V12 Aston here as well, being another one of those different faces that we don't normally see often. Like, obviously the Aston Martin is one of the favorites whenever it comes to the new one, the new Vantage. But the old one is definitely not a car that you see very often driven, and for good reason, because it's an outdated car that doesn't need to exist anywhere. But it's definitely nice to be able to see it in a place like this. I don't remember to what spec this car was built, but is it still relatively along the GT2 chassis?
The old Vantage.
Yeah.
Pretty much. They just slapped in a different V12.
Okay,
And
and
changed
then
bits
slightly
in.
different downforce.
Yeah, just trimmed everything out.
Makes sense.
Pretty sure that was the same case with the Nissan as well. With the GT1. The GT3, they just sort of took out some bodywork, and the stuff they took out lengthwise, they added to height-wise.
Did the modern R35 GTR race in GT1?
Yeah, I'm sure it was the R31, R35 in GT1.
Oh yeah,
So
R35. Yeah,
2010, 11ish.
yeah, it was during that era. NASCAR Shift 2 had that one. Had a good majority of the GT1 cars, to be fair.
NASCAR Shift 2?
NFS, Need for Speed.
Yeah.
You said NASCAR. A little bit confused there.
I said NASCAR. I thought I said Need for Speed.
Oh yeah, you said NASCAR.
Well then, I'm big dumb.
Heck of a gap up here at the top between the top two and the rest of the field. Actually, I mean, you can even say the top three and the rest of the field. There's definitely some gaps in the field here. Hopefully here within the last 3 minutes, everyone can get out there. They can set their one last lap, and they can really put together a good one. Because we want to see a good race here for the podium, I would guess, in qualifying here. Whoever gets to start up on the top three.
Two Bentley boys together again. Gap larger than last week. 1.2 seconds this time as opposed to half a second last week at Paul Ricard, but they're together again. I think that'll be the same for the entire season.
Mike Trewicki here in the Porsche. This is the other one of those newer cars that isn't the newest version of itself. So it's another one of those cars that you could definitely see being relatively competitive. This one I do not believe got any sort of BOP though, unlike the Audi and I don't think it necessarily needed it, because this car it's definitely different than the modern version of it. It runs a lot worse on the aerodynamic side of things. There's a lot more drag versus the cars. I mean, as you can see, like with this one, how it has those the louvers on the front wheels there, as well as with the slatted front hood or trunk, depending on how you classify that. Bonnet.
Also, louvers. I've never heard louvers in that context before.
I mean, that's what those would be.
It's a front.
Canards or dive planes.
Well, no, yeah, that's what's down on the front, in front of the wheel. The louvers is the vents above the
Oh,
fender.
you're on about the vents. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
those aren't on the new car.
Yeah, we just call them vents, mate.
Well, that's not what they.
It's-
As Europeans,
That's not their proper name.
The bonnet, the frunk. You mean the
the
front?
frunk.
The front. Front trunk.
The front trunk. From it.
Front it.
Yeah, that'll do. The British Rush beer. Such a good word, that. On it. Top four now within the second. 8 temps separating the four. With 5th, 6th, and 7th all in pits, they won't be coming out again. Neither will Ethan Lawrence, who's yet to set the time.
My
I wonder
car
what that
is
strategy is. I mean, is that a new gen?
No, it's the old. It's the old. Technically, by our rule set, doesn't have a newer car to replace
Ooh,
it.
Chafer to
therefore
the
it can't be
pole.
raced. Oh, barely edged him out too. Is it
Jaguar
6'10",
on
6'10"?
top. Maybe that BOP has something to it.
Maybe.
6 temps.
Is Mike still on the lap here?
Although we do have Woodrose coming to try to set his new fast lap here. 20 seconds remain in qualifying.
It'll be Jake Faucher who will be the first cross the checkered, coming through the penultimate corner now.
Faucher will not sit without a lap though.
Ooh, off goes the
There you
Lambo
go.
just in front of Woodrow there. Making sure not to disrupt his qualifying lap. I'm sure he's very happy with that one.
I saw Mike have a did not quite the same, but he had a little half spin, so he lost some time on that last lap. Not on this lap currently. We'll see.
So GTR comes across the line, 2.5 seconds off at the moment, crosses the line now. Moves up to 4 seconds, so a hefty improvement. Still last, but
Up
much
out of
closer
the final
than
corner
before.
comes Woodrow. Can he go faster?
Does not go faster.
He does not. Chafer
Okay.
to the pole in the Jaguar.
No one else actually able to set a lap. Weird.
No. Yeah,
Everyone else must have had a disallowed lap time.
Mm.
A 999 had a valid lap all the way up.
Weird.
Weird thing.
Good old ACC. That is your pole sitter there. What do I do? Hello and welcome, anyone who's recently joined us. Uncle Charlie Gaming there. Maltzy, Ben, the Racing Goat. Welcome everyone. Thank you all for heading out, or hanging out. Sorry if there's anyone else that has been here that I didn't notice. And to the race session, correct?
Oh, when ACC decides.
Oh, we're still in the
catch
qualifying
up.
session. Wait,
It's
wait.
probably good. It's loading.
The Lamborghini, the Ryder engineering car, is still over here, able to drive themselves on the pit lane.
Sound a bit of
Yes.
fun, doing nothing.
I need to fix that. Not sure why that's about. Actually, I know it's.
Well, while we're waiting on this, I'm going to go ahead and grab my refreshments for the race. So I recommend that anyone else does that as well.
Oi. Sure. Are we live on there?
Pretty much just burnt my hand on the tap.
Oh, we are live. Okay. No, we're not muted. That's okay. What were you doing? Were you washing your
Ah.
hands?
Refilling my water bottle.
Refilling your water bottle.
Yeah, and it just, instant hot water for whatever reason.
Instant.
Instant. Even though it's on the cold side,
Instantaneous.
but
All right. Oh. Oh yeah, I gotta.
if you go to your stream manager, as in on Chrome,
Wait, emotes only chat. What is this nonsense? please, no, that's not on, but something I can do.
Oh right, yeah, I'm not quite sure what that's a thing. Same with subscriber only chat or
Well, I
follower
understand.
only chat.
I understand those,
Hmm.
but like you can like have not bots. Like bots can watch your channel, but they can't chat. Which I mean, it makes sense, but like just emotes only chat.
Yeah, you just gotta send a little pog emote. That's what you can do.
Back.
Are we back?
All right.
Minute and a half to go. They're still changing their setups from qualifying to a race. Putting those last few adjustments in.
Back everyone from our commercial break there. Hopefully everything initiated correctly. The break didn't break anything. But it's
I
something
didn't see a
know.
break, but I don't know.
Mods and subscribers don't get ad breaks.
Oh, well, that makes sense then, because I'm both.
When's my subscription?
So that is one of the perks if you do want to use your Twitch Prime sub on the GRG eSports channel, is that you get ad-free viewing. I mean, we're not going to stick an ad during the middle of the race. However, during these cut times, may as well have something to watch rather than just dead silence.
Fair.
Also, during this time, we're going to go ahead. And cut over to our supporters page here while we wait on the final few seconds before the cars start rolling.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Love this. It says my my Twitch Prime is available on 19th of July.
And
19th of July.
19th of July.
That's a heck of a
a
long way away.
Well, sure,
Yeah.
that's about.
And the cars are rolling. Cut off the thank you to the Patreons and Twitch subscribers until the end of the race. Martin Schaefer gets himself on the pole here. That's a big deal because that is definitely something that I was not expecting to see.
He is points. Well, he does have an advantage though, because it is all points, or not all points round. 6 out of the 7 rounds score points.
Yes. So anyone who did make a mistake in any round, or if someone who misses a round, this is a drop round series. It's 7 races, but only 6 rounds score points, and so you get to drop off your worst performance. So it's definitely one of those where you can try to give it your all basically every week. Because if you make a mistake and you get in a wreck or whatever like that, or run out of gas, or just have a bad week, it's not exactly the end of your championship or anything like that, because you can always just come back next week and try to be stronger and better.
Loving the pure domination of support in the chat now. Ladino. Oh, and for Gav. Lucas there with some Gav and support there.
Great to see everyone here inside the Twitch channel. Hopefully all are enjoying the commentary so far, and you've been enjoying it every single week. We enjoy trying to be able to provide this, even if we're not necessarily great at it by any means, but We enjoy
better
being
than
able to
that.
provide you guys with some form of entertainment and a way to see into our races every. Jaguar on pole, followed by the Audi of Ryan Woodrow, the Lamborghini of Gavin Moore, Porsche of Mike Trewicki, Lamborghini of Chris Ayers, the Aston Martin of Keith Hurst, the Bentley of John, I do not know how to pronounce his last name, I'm sorry John, I've known you for a long time, I still don't know how to say your last name, the Ryder Engineering Lamborghini of Andrew Shaw, the Bentley of Ramiro Perez, or why does it say Bentley? Aston Martin of Ramiro Perez, the Bentley of Jake Foucher, I'm looking at the wrong pictures, then the Nissan of Paolo Ladino, and of course the Mercedes of Ethan Lawrence sitting on the pit lane.
They forced my name to safety car.
Can you change that?
I can change it within the server, yes.
Yes, so you should change your name to safety car.
I'm doing it for the endurance race.
To win now.
The S.car endurance race.
Or S safety car.
Ah, yes.
As they come rolling up off the final corner here, getting ready, waiting on the lights to go out. They're holding them a long time. There they go. Lights are green. And away we are from round 2 at Hungaroring. Jaguar going with a mega defensive line here as they're looking 3 wide in the back. Reader Engineering Lamborghini taking no, wasting no time to try to send a move on someone. We look down the field here. 3 wide. Once again in the back. Still 3 wide as they come up off of turn 1. Woodrow losing second and now getting a send on him as well. Oh, and there's contact at turn 2. Maybe that's even turn 3. Off goes Mike Trewicki.
A little bit of bumping at the back as well. Bentley and the Bentley of I'm not sure which one else was Ramiro coming into turn 2. A little bit of bumping there, and Ladino almost careering into the back of a slow Ramiro, but narrowly avoiding that. Relatively clean, apart from the minor contact. Turn 2, nothing too harmful so far.
Everyone's getting their way through this sector 2 here, where it's very much no passing. Interesting that Ryan Woodrow here, I mean, he's normally always right up at the front. He lost 2 spots off the start of that race there. Obviously starting on that left side of the racetrack cost him a lot. So he's gonna have his work cut back out for him as he's trying to go for a pass down here. Oh, contact!
Ramiro just going into the back there.
That was
Keith Hurst, actually.
Oh, come on, why is there a billboard blocking that one corner? Like, literally the camera cuts to a spot where you can't see.
I just realized I'm using an outdated Hungaroring map.
It changed?
I don't know. It's weird. It's got this like weird straight line thing. Like I don't know. It's
Side by side of the Bentleys going down to turn 1. John on the defensive inside slot. I think that he's going to be able to take that position as Jake's going to put his way into fit. They're going to slot in. Here comes the Porsche of Mike Trewicki after that first lap contact, trying to work his way back up through the field.
There's actually a move of position from Ladino, making their way up past Mike.
Oh, yeah?
Falling even further down now. Yeah, they swapped.
I did not catch that. So Paolo up to Pina. Oh, here comes the Porsche back around the outside, though.
Take that back.
Hard racing between these two here on lap 2. Our leader up here, Schaefer, trying to just cruise his way around as Gavin Moore in the Lamborghini is trying to give it his all, it seems like. He's using up every single bit of that curb right now, trying to run down that Jag. Aston Martin's getting their way pretty close right here. 3 cars all within a small blanket as the faster Porsche, who's got to be a little bit aggravated after that lap 1 contact. going to be trying to squeeze his way through here. He's definitely faster. It's just how much faster is he, and can he get that spot done?
Everyone track extending out the final corner there.
Track limits here are very kind in some cases, so definitely it's a track where you can use up every bit of those of that green patch on the outside.
John now looking around the outside into turn 4 there, through the kink to come up the hill now. He's right on the bumper now, this Writer Engineering Lamborghini. So the pack for the outside of the podium positions are all closed up now.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, all bumper to bumper with each other here. This is a very, very tight track here at Hungaroring. Hard to make a pass. As here goes Mike looking on the inside of the first chicane here. I need to get up the track map to where I can see what the numbers are. There we go.
Miro tried to move into the chicane as well, but he had to back off as he went off track.
Keith Hurst got that position back on Mike.
Might be a battle for second place at the moment as well.
Woodrow just feet away from the second place car of Gavin Moore here. Woodrow, obviously, he's fast every single week, and he's going to be trying to look his way through here. But will he be able to get it done, especially with these two cars now having that slight BOP here with the added weight? I mean, how much does that affect these cars? I mean, it's showing as of right now because the Lamborghini and Audi is not leading. And for that matter, our two drivers who are at the top of the board every week are not leading. So showing that the BOP is working to some extent as of right now. This pack here in the middle is still fantastic right now. Everyone just track extending, using up every little bit they can. Everyone's giving it 100 right now.
Oh, got the wood moved on into the chicane there.
Woodrow up to P2. That seems to be a good place to try to get moves done, is going through this chicane here. It's going to be tight and risky. However, due to the runoff there, it's somewhere where you can get away with it. Because if you make a little bit of contact or in a position where you may make contact, you can just bail and take that runoff and play it safe. That's one of the few places on this track that does have runoff on the inside of the corner. Billboard's getting on my nerves.
I
just went to hell the game at this point. Oh, massive train. Holy, oh,
Mike's
having a move now. To the outside of Keith Hurst he goes for the final corner. Can he hold it? I believe he can.
Almost had it.
Yeah, pushed slightly out wide there.
Back off mid-corner.
Slips him down to turn 1. I think he's going to be a little too far back actually, into 1.
Yeah, he seemed to kind of get his way up there on the green stuff on the exit of the turn. That really hurt him. It's the Bentley looking to the inside here. Jake on John, looking to try to make their way through. And he's side by side with John on the defensive position going down into turn 2. Now maybe an opportune Aston Martin can find its way through this group. Definitely think with how big this fight is that going to the Helicam's the way to be able to view this one. This is fantastic racing.
Catches everyone.
That's Romero. They're chopping and dicing at each other here.
Oh man, that was a good catch there by the 24 Aston Martin back here. Oh, and there's a spin.
No, the Astons.
Astons have taken each other.
Astons run into each other there as Keith Hurst looking up the inside of Ramiro Perez makes a little bit of contact. Elects to let Ramiro back through.
Keith now shuffles. Well, they both now shuffle to the back of the grid.
8 minutes into this race, and we've already seen multiple accidents that have taken top cars all the way to the rear of the field. Meanwhile, up front, Martin Schaefer just cruising away with this one at the moment. Ryan Woodrow currently about 3 seconds behind. Let's see what their lap times are as they cross this time around. A 1:46 flat from Schaefer and a 1:46.2 from Woodrow. So Martin Schaefer there looking to be the faster car out of those two as well. So he's going to be increasing that gap up front.
You see how much Ryan being held up though there by Gavin. Already pulled up a 3-second gap in a matter of laps from the Audi to the Lamborghini. So you saw how much he was being held up by. But yeah, the pace between first and second, marginal and in favour of the leader.
Keith now passing Ramiro there to the final corner.
Wanting to get that pass done legitimately rather than through contact, but who knows how much damage that Ramiro Perez possibly has. Looking to the outside is Mike Trewicki here. That's a risky place to try to make a move, but definitely one where you can make it. Oh, and he shoots wide there onto the braking. A little bit of lockup there as he was trying to overtake Jake. Now that's going to put another 1 second gap between the two of them. And now he's going to be under attack from Chris Ayers and the Lamborghini behind him.
Seems like no one can win today. Everyone tries to make a move and it just backfires right in front of them.
Shaw here in 4th position being under attack from John. John's going to be trying to peek his way around to the left, to the right, back to the left. Oh, he's going back around the outside possibly. Nope. And I'd like to pull out of it and maybe go for a move through the final corner here.
Mike now going down the inside of Jake, the second to last corner.
Mike gets it done around the outside of that Bentley. The Bentley is big and it's hard to get by, but Mike gets it done there in the Porsche. And now we got Ayers looking to try to get. Oh, there was a that's a lag there from Shaw, it appears. What is going on with this car? As it just kind of appeared back on the racetrack and now is. Oh, and there's a spin in turn 1.
Not sure what's up with Shaw's car there.
Yeah, something going up with the Writer engineering car there. Slightly dodgy rejoin there by Chris Ayers. Had to cut off the nose of Ramiro. There's definitely something up with that.
That was a heck of an incident. I wish that we could jump back on that one, because that was a confusing looking incident. I am really curious as to what was going on there with regarding that Writer engineering car, as they have now left the race.
Disconnected. It might have been either a network or a hardware issue, i.e. their pedals may have just self-destructed or something.
The car just kind of popped up from the looks of it on the front straightaway. Like it just wasn't there and then it was. So that was definitely a confusing thing. Let's go ahead and let's go jump into the replay here and jump back and watch that. Because I want to see what was going on with that Writer engineering car. Let's skip our way back here. So they were, just fine in P4. We were just looking at them, and then so there's a light skip there. It looked like driving along, and then yeah, they just jumped back. So definitely some sort of network issue here for the Writer engineering car. And regarding the cars in front here with their contact and spin, so the Lamborghini went to go make a move on the Bentley, and the Bentley hit the brake, looked like on the curb or the grass, which spun them into the Lamborghini, almost taking out Trey Wiki there on the inside. I wanna get a camera shot here, looking from the inside of this Bentley here. I want to see what it looked like with the steering wheel.
Looks like it was a game crash for the Shaw.
Ooh, a possible game crash? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely it looked like as if they got on the brakes. They got onto the brakes while on the grass/curb. I do believe that's what caused that turn 1 incident there. Very, very unfortunate there for Shaw and the Ryder Engineering car, because they were doing very well there. They were running up front, putting together some really good laps there. So definitely unfortunate to see something like that happen.
Looks like Woodrow slowly closing that gap. It's down to 0.5 now.
Just 0.5 of a second up front.
Or no, it closed by 0.5, I should say.
Well, to say, for me it shows 2.5 seconds. What are you looking at?
Your eyes have gone wrong, man.
Yes.
Of course, all incidents that happen within the races are reviewed. The race control does take a note of any incidents that happen, and they were reviewed post-race for giving out penalties, and penalties will include time as well as our penalty point system that GRG uses, where for incidents, depending on how far they are, you essentially get a license penalty point against you to kind of have a deterrent against repeat offenders, and the way to, if you're consistently causing issues, then you can no longer race, or you get reprimanded, penalties for it in forms of race bans and things, just to try to help keep things clean. And fortunately for us, in the 6 months that we've had that active, we've had yet to have anyone need to be penalized by it. So that's fantastic that we have not had to really use that system that we put in. Racing's been really clean, and as always with these cars, aggressive racing happens all the time, but definitely nothing of malicious intent happens here, which is fantastic. What you want to see out of a group of racers. Can't ask for much more. Porsche here in the Bentley battling for P4. Bentley looks to be a little bit slidey all over this racetrack. It is running currently at 35 degrees Celsius on the racetrack, so definitely it's quite hot on that tarmac. You would not want to walk on it barefoot. And so
Mike 0.7 of a second quicker last time round.
Yeah, that Porsche's really quick right now. I'm sure that the heat's kind of playing into its favor, just due to the way that its weight is set up. It's allowing it to be able to get a lot more traction out of the corner than maybe some cars, because of the fact that all the weight's over the rear. As say like this Bentley, where the weight's over the front, it's seeming to kind of slide around a little bit whenever it comes to corner exit. So could be helping the Porsche having this type of heat. 35 Celsius is rather hot for this game. Most of the time your track temperature runs about 25 to 28 Celsius within this game, and sometimes it even gets down to like 18, 19 degrees Celsius, which honestly is kind of unrealistic to an extent. But yeah, you never get too hot of track temps within a course of Competizione. So having something like 35 degrees Celsius is definitely a scorcher.
You've never been to Europe then, have you? 18 degrees. Be lucky to have that.
Well, that's air temperature. A black tarmac surface is always going to be hotter than your air temperature.
You would be correct. Depending on the time and day, season. Lowest I've ever seen real life is 9 degrees mid-December at Donington, and people were having to run wet tires to actually turn because the slicks just weren't having it. It's hilarious. And then the snow, so probably worth putting away some.
Got around here where, for example, like I've been to Phoenix, Arizona, and while we were down there, it was 110 degrees Fahrenheit on the air temperature, and the tarmac or like our parking lot temperatures, they were running at about 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Literally was melting tires of cars whenever they were just sitting there. People there, they have tents for their cars because of how hot it gets on the pavement. cannot walk barefoot in there. So
It's crazy. Yeesh.
something like 35 degrees Celsius is still rather cold for a pavement.
That gap up front closed again by another 5/10. They're down 2-second gap. Looks like this race might come down to pit stops.
Yeah, the pit window does open here in 1 minute for the GT3 Legacy Series. It's a 50-minute long race with a 10-minute pit window from 30 minutes remaining to 20 minutes remaining, and it's a mandatory 4-tire pit stop. Fuel is optional. Most people won't take fuel because it takes a little bit longer to fill up than to not, but so most people will just start off the race with full fuel and then they'll just run it to the end. Personally, whenever I do these races, depending on my car, I actually fill the car up halfway, or just over halfway. So typically for a 50-minute race, you want something like 65-ish liters, at least in the Bentley, which was the car that I drove, the modern Bentley. So I would put 35 liters in the car to start, and then I would put 30 liters in at the midway point, because if you put anything under 40 liters in the car, it takes the same amount of time as the tires do. So if you can do it where it's like 35 for the fuel, then you don't actually take extra time on the
Jake is down at Paulo there.
so that's what I had found. Jake gets passed done down at 9th and 10th.
Oh,
Following this battle here for 4th position at the moment, Woodrow gains 3/10 of a second that time around.
I won't be surprised if we see Mike here dive into the pits. Just he's been stuck behind his Bentley for so long now. He's probably frustrated. It might save him some time if he pits early and get some fresh air on those new tires. I think he's probably do the undercut.
probably gonna do it the opposite of the Bentley.
Opposite the Bentley, yeah.
Yeah, typically Mike is one of those that tries to take it out all the way to the last second.
Yes, it's very much a late stopper, but depending on what that Bentley does, that may change something.
Yeah, definitely. You want to do what if the Bentley stays out, then you got to dive in, and if the Bentley dives in, then you got to stay out and take the green track and clean air. As Woodrow's now down to within 1 second for the lead, he gains 7/10 of a second there in sector 2. So maybe a mistake for Schaefer. Schaefer's coming into the pit lane.
Yep, Martin's into the pit lane. Oh, is Paulo 30-second stop go? I guess he's speeding in the pit lane and did not fulfill their stop either. Does not look like they fulfilled their stop, as they still flow 1 by the name.
Are they? Oh yeah.
Let's see what we get here as they come on through. Both elect to stay out. Interesting.
Stay
Mike deciding to not pit. Maybe he's got a plan in his strategy and he cannot pit too early to alter away from his plan. But definitely in that situation, I think you got to dive in. But also maybe he's just enjoying having this fight here, following the Bentley. Maybe he's enjoying it and just wants to stay out that little bit longer.
That's really true.
Definitely our closest battle on the lead here as in comes the 99 machine, pitting its way on the pit lane. I do believe that is, yeah, that's Chris Ayers there in the Lamborghini, bringing his way down the pit lane. Jake Foucher has already served his pit stop. Currently in last place on the grid, but will probably filter his way back through once Ladino takes their pit stop.
They took the pit stop at the same time, but I think Ladino messed up the pit stop. Both in 2 ways, I guess, being in the pit lane and
Not
forgot
actually
to get
completed.
tired. Yeah.
Well, we saw that issue with Elizabeth Novak last week out, didn't we?
Yeah, Novak had stopped for a pit stop, but then they put the same tires back on the car, so that technically wasn't a tire swap pit stop.
No.
As in comes Ladino this time around, trying to serve their pit stop correctly this time, hopefully. And then they have to
That
serve
might be
their.
the stop go 30 first.
You could serve both at the same time.
Can
Or,
you?
actually,
Yeah. No.
maybe.
No, the stop go
time
third.
It's time penalties you can.
Yeah. The stop go 30 is a drive-through for time. Yeah,
So
for
does
time
the
penalties.
game
And does Mike go in
force you
this
to hit
time?
them?
No, the Bentley does.
You can
So-
select it on or off.
So clean air now for Trey Wiki as the Bentley does stop in.
I think the Mary as well. We're pretty much at the halfway point now.
Schaefer was your leader prior to the pit stops, and currently he has found himself back in the 7th position. So that shows just how long this pit road takes, versus staying out and having good good clean air up there. As in comes the 2 Aston Martins as well this time.
I do know iRacing forces you to do everything. It'll do everything at the same time, and you have to serve your stop and go and stuff while you pit. You can't select it on or off or anything.
Yeah, I like that. I like that as a choice because, like, if you think that you're gonna come out of the pit lane into a group of cars, you can just elect to take your time penalty, so you come out into clean air. But if you think you're gonna come out into clean air, then you can elect to just take the time penalty as for what it is at the end, to prevent putting yourself into a group of cars. So you can still get a little bit of strategy to try to optimize your time penalty as the best you can. As in comes Woodrow this time around. So it's gonna be interesting to see if he managed to gain that 1 second on Schaefer through the end lap, as well as maybe Schaefer had a bad out lap or something. He's definitely in clean air. Schaefer is driving on the racetrack completely alone, so there's nothing in his way to disrupt him from having a clean run and some good laps here. So hopefully for him, he's hoping to be able to bridge maybe a larger gap to Woodrow than maybe what he had before. Only 3 cars remain to need to pit, and none of them have pit or two of them, because Woodrow's on the pit road now. So we have Moore and Trey Wiki who both need to pit now. Who both just
that's just Ladino. That one's still yet to disappear. The game's obviously not happy with some in there.
Well, they served their stop go 30 there, and so then now the next time around they're going to try to come in and serve their pit stop possibly here. Here comes Schaefer coming through the final corner. He's going to gain a lot of time here on Woodrow.
Ryan's not even on pit road yet, or on the fast lane.
There he goes. They just dropped the jacks. Yeah.
Oh, but he now is exiting pit lane.
Yeah, lost a huge amount of time.
Very good stop for Schaefer. I mean, that's almost a 10-second gap that he just bridged out, I'd say, through the pit stop. So either Woodrow had some slight damage from the earlier contact that he forgot to disable on the repair, or he just did not get a very clean in and out lap.
That might play into Gavin's hands, as he should be pitting here soon, next 2 laps.
A wall of plugs there by the Nightbot.
Yeah. Nightbot wants support us very well, it seems.
Yeah, you should listen to Nightbot. Nightbot's being very persuasive. You should make sure you listen to Nightbot.
Nightbots never lie. It's the truth.
Mike is now in the pit lane for his stop.
Yep, I was correct. About 11 seconds the gap between Schaefer and Woodrow, so he lost 10 seconds there through the pit cycle, because it was about 1 second prior to the stop.
So click onto your stream and they get given an ad for a program that I literally watched the other day. I don't need any more advertising. I've already binged it.
It'd be great if Amazon were to be able to track like what you watch on Amazon Prime, or whatever you're watching, like if they could track that and then not give you ads for it anymore. That'd be great.
Very helpful. Because I absolutely hate the advert to the Upload series. It's one of the worst ones I've ever watched. Yeah. I didn't watch it for so long. Alas.
I always get that with some of those like clickable ads where they keep on giving you the same one, and it's like and they're just like trying to bait you in. It's like, fine, all right, if I click on you, maybe you'll go away, and then you click on it, and then it just doesn't go away. It's still there, and it's like
it's not appearing in other places. So
like, man, I really shouldn't have clicked on that, but I wanted it gone. So the gaps have really spread out here, as Woodrow's up to P2 now. The scoring pylon has yet to update that one. as everyone has served their pit stop now. So no one going for the ultra late pit. Everyone trying to get in relatively early.
Is the thing. Like, I think Mike could just get one more
Yeah,
lap.
there's still time to do it.
I have to take my time to set up the wheel, and then do a lap around the circuit. Oh, it's my. I just realized this. I mean, it's been stupid, but Mike has actually jumped John in the pit stop. There's now 1 second gap between the two.
Oh yes, I forgot that. Yeah, I forgot that the Bentley was ahead there. So yes, a swap for position there during the pit stops. Wiki moving himself up to the 4th spot. So very clean pit stop for him, obviously.
Too busy about talking about TV shows.
That damage limitation for Mike there. So, where did he qualify? Around that area?
I think it was P4 at the start there, and then he had the incident. Lap.
So, yeah, right where he begun. I think he got himself up to 3rd before being pushed out.
Always him started going from the back to the front, it seems.
John's Bentley definitely does not seem happy on the rear end. Whenever he's coming out of the hairpins there, like in the final 3 corners, those 90-degree rights and 180s. Whenever he's trying to get to the throttle there off the exit of him, the car is definitely slippy, slidey on the back. That's very interesting to see as to why that car is so loose, as that was a massive curb hop there by Gavin Moore. This track is, as we pointed out, it's very, very questionable whenever it comes to the way it polices track limits. For example, within the chicane here, you can basically put all 4 tires off the racetrack and it doesn't care. We've dealt with that in previous series where we had to make calls of penalizing people for using it a little bit too much, because it was just the game just doesn't properly punish it compared to what it normally would. There's 5 bits given to us by Ethan Lawrence himself.
The sneaky donator.
I was looking in there, I was like, oh, I have bits. Completely forgot those existed.
That was the thing that I forgot to set up. I was sitting here thinking, all right, what do I need to set up? What do I need to set up? And the thing I forgot to set up was...
Oh, alert box.
Was the alert box.
Yeah. I'm shaking my head.
Yep, I'll probably set that up tonight then as well.
Truly.
I'll be busy all night tonight then. Alert box.
Alert box is actually really easy. It took me
Yeah.
about 2 minutes to do. Thankfully, it's an easy one.
I could probably do it now, but I don't want to take away from the final 20 minutes of this fantastic racing here.
I had to reset up all my settings for OBS. That was fun.
Yeah. It has its moments.
No, because I had to reinstall Windows. So,
Oh yeah,
it was simple to use, but
Keith Hurst is running down that 99 Lamborghini there of Chris Ayers. After the earlier incident there with Keith and Ramiro hitting each other at I do believe it's like turn 5 or turn 6, the hairpin back there, maybe in turn 7. I honestly don't know. Race map open. Turn 5. Well, I was correct. But with that spin, he's managed to kind of keep himself in roughly the same spot as where he was at the time of that spin, even after letting Ramiro back by there. But of course, time penalties could ensue and change that.
Oh yeah, I have to do that, don't I?
Yes, come on, race director.
Race director needs to get on this job.
Your eye in the sky.
Our closest battle on the racetrack here at the moment is this Aston Martin is getting right up to the bumper of the Lamborghini there, Chris Ayers. Really trying to find their way around.
Good half a second quicker was Keith last time round. So got the pace in this stage, but there's one thing catching and another thing passing, and it's almost like a street circuit. This place, very narrow. So we'll see how. See how Keith handles is a particular challenge.
That was a massive stopping there by the Lamborghini as they get
Oh,
side-by-side
he's such a
contact
good
once
guy.
again.
He was trying to
Where
go
they
to
come
a
from?
place that was not existent.
He had the nose down there. I think that was all fair game.
He was off track. In my opinion, he was pretty off track.
I think that is.
I think that was fair. I was on that.
I didn't get to see it because giant billboards were in the way, and all I saw were two cars
Helicam.
side by side.
He's got a helicam.
Let's just say he was very off track.
No. He wasn't very off track. There was a wheel off. Singular.
What was off track?
Well, it
for you?
depends on how he was being put off track. He could have been pushed. I didn't get to see it because
No, he
of a
chose
billboard.
not
No, it was literally.
No, I didn't see it because of a billboard.
He had the outside for the corner. He wasn't even outside before the corner. He was just on the outside. It's like, yep, I'm just gonna go all the way around here.
I think that was a fair move. I admire the ambition.
Oh gosh. Just yeah, track limits. We particularly don't punish track limits in this game because the game punishes you for that. But if there's an incident where something happens and track limits are involved, it's the white line that we use.
Yep, white line all the way around the racetrack. You must keep at least 2 tires within the white line at all moments. Obviously, as Ethan did say, like you see these drivers who are extending the corner exits as wide as they can and such. And yeah, I mean that's all fair game. But if an incident does happen while you're doing it, then that gives you a little bit more blame than weren't off the racetrack.
Well, there's Keith for the drive-through, so there goes his luck.
Drive through for time or for track limits.
Probably dropping down to 9th place behind the Bentley.
Is,
Probably.
Tough luck there to be pushing it that hard. He's not even going to dispute it. He's just going to immediately head his way into the pit lane here.
Do not dispute with the ACC gods.
As Romero capitalizes on that, the Astons have a little switcheroo.
Mike Trewicki's managed to put himself another second in between him and John. Those 2 cars that came out really close to each other there on the exit of the pit lane. The Mike Trewicki Porsche has been able to put in some good laps and bridge himself a good distance because they were about 7 seconds or 7/10 of a second separated that time. Trewicki going faster. Trewicki really trying to get himself clear of this one. Gonna go jump up to the Schaefer, who qualified on pole and had that miraculous pit stop. Whether or not he was faster or Woodrow was slower, we don't exactly know. Because we do gotta remember that Woodrow was involved with that contact that happened with Trewicki on lap 1. So it very much could have been damage to that car that caused for that longer pit stop. And I do believe that incident is going to cost him a chance to fight for this race because of that damage.
Quite.
Unfortunately, I mean, he didn't get a chance to shut it off in the pit lane. Because definitely the damage wasn't costing him any time, I don't really think. He was still the fastest car on track, or at least he was running even with Schaefer, so that 10-second penalty definitely does not line up with what it cost him. As you pointed out, Keith Hurst after the drive-thru came out just behind the 98 Bentley of Jake Foucher. However, it's much closer than I was expecting it to be, as there's only 1 second between the 2 of them. Hurst now with a little bit of frustration in him. I'm sure that he's going to be trying to race his way up the grid to possibly go get himself an 8th position out of this race.
I believe the next penalty would be a 30-second stop go. If he gets more track limits. It's probably not likely, but it is possible. There's still 12 minutes left in the race.
Well, he's right behind Jake now, so.
12 minutes remain
12
here.
minutes.
12 minutes remain.
12 minutes.
I mean, there's still a chance that we see someone like Woodrow be able to run his way up towards first, but he's gonna have to really put in a good line. Oh, and there's contact
There's
again.
contact between the 2. Multiple contact. He keeps on pushing him.
Multiple contact.
He's like that annoying friend who keeps on pushing you over. won't beat you, even though you're down. I think
Keith Hurst
Keith
just sitting
will
off the
probably-
race track there, trying to let Jake
he was
Foucher
waiting
get
for the
himself
Bentley to
gathered.
go past. They got blue flags though for Woodrow. He makes his way through.
Yeah, everyone did flag for there.
Making his way through.
Gap really hasn't closed, like by a second or two between Martin and Ryan, but yeah, it stayed really about the same.
That last time around, Martin was the faster car by 0.2 of a second. So, the difference in pace definitely is not great. Woodrow's really going to have to put his head down and put on some really good laps here if he's going to have a chance to go get this lead, or he's going to need traffic, which is not there to get in the way of Martin.
A lot of clear air.
Woodrow down to 9.1 seconds though, so he's definitely just closed the gap here this time around. And he might be close enough to be able to get a tow off of that massive Nissan going down the front straightaway. Could help him out. Just that little bit. Oh, nope, the Nissan's going to like to get out of the way through the final corner.
Slightly compromising right there is the lack of sight of the apex that he didn't see due to being behind a huge mountain like that.
As Keith passes Jake there through the final corner. Jake ran wide. Not sure what that was about. Whether he missed his braking zone or what.
Those are the moments where if you are Woodrow, you get frustrated by someone letting you by because you were planning or hoping that they would stay in line so you can get that slipstream going down the front straightaway and then slingshot past them. And then whenever they elect to just get out of your way and let you through the corner, you just kind of just get angry just a little bit on your inside, but you can't actually be angry because they're letting you pass. And
yeah, they're doing nothing wrong. It's just not in your favor.
exactly. They're not doing anything wrong, but they're also not. They're not doing anything to help you.
The brick of air would have really helped there. And the brick is just pushing a hole through the air.
Down to 9 seconds was the gap there after Sector 1. So again, I mean, Woodrow is definitely faster, but down to 8.8 seconds now. He's quicker, but he's got to be way quicker. We're gonna be looking at like 1.2 seconds a lap is what he's got to get, not half a second. He needs to get about 1.2 seconds per lap on Schaefer. So he's gonna need Schaefer to really run into an issue to have a chance at this one.
A little over 18 minutes left to go here.
As you can see the Audi off in the distance there. I do like the way that the camera work for these broadcasts do look in this game. They are very nice looking.
As long as we ignore set number 1.
Set number 1 needs to be burned.
Just too low to the racetrack, and they zoom in way too much, and it's just so low to the track that you just kind of get nothing. But then you have these cameras like in turn 2 where you don't even know what's happening with that camera. Like, I'm confused by what that camera's doing. Because like it feels like one of those cameras where it's supposed to be like kind of like up on like a camera truck boom that's like kind of it's just dropping down, kind of making a dramatic shot. But whenever it repeats that dramatic shot every single lap, it's really weird because it doesn't feel natural.
Every camera follows the same pattern, so there's no sort of human element to it.
Yeah,
it's the same motion every time on Camset. Even with Camset 2, I mean, all of them they're following the same pattern.
True.
But at least 2 and 3, 2 and Heli look a little more natural, albeit it is the same thing every time.
That's one thing I like about iRacing as well, is that you can adjust cameras. You can save camera sets, and you can create your own camera sets for everything. Like you can create an in-car cam, you can create an onboard, you can create camera set 1 for like TV cams, like static track cameras.
Yeah, during the time that I was using iRacing, that's something that I noticed that they had, and I really like that because yeah, you could set up your own custom cameras, and so like a great feature of that would be you could set up a camera at the start finish line for the end of the race, and you could just cut to that camera, and then you're just sitting at the start finish line as you watch people go by.
As Keith gets into the drive-through.
Yeah, he is really pushing those track limits to their absolute limit.
It's
How's he done?
Looks like
There's
Jake.
another 3 limits in, what, 12 minutes or so? It's impressive.
He did have the one off track. I mean, well, no, it was. I don't know. I forget how this game does their off tracks.
It's just 3 strikes and you're out, and it resets again.
Yeah, I know.
Once you get the drive-through.
F1, it's what you do 3 strikes, drive through, and then you get another. You get like 9. Is it?
Oh, you mean in the F1
9.
game?
Yeah, F1 game.
Oh,
Not.
yeah.
It's like 9 or something. I think is how much you get before you get disqualified.
Well, you can get loads of minor ones, and the game's happy for you to do that. But if you get a slightly bigger one,
Yeah.
then it starts crying and having hissy fit you. At least that's what it used to do on the old games. I haven't played the new one.
And, oh, and Paulo again, speeding the pit lane. Not sure why they pit there. I don't know if they ran out of fuel or what.
Damage, maybe? On
Maybe.
spin we may not see.
Or possibly just trying to do a practice run as well. Being they made the mistake on the pit lane earlier, and they're kind of locked into their position, being a lap behind Keith Hurst. So maybe they're just like, oh, let's take another practice run here.
Yeah, no harm in doing so.
Their car is definitely slow though, as Ramiro goes by. It could have been them possibly slowing down to let Ramiro pass though.
Could just be the Nissan as well.
I think it's the first option there. That's what I've seen them doing. Is kind of when a faster car comes by, they kind of slow up and let them by.
Yeah. It's just good of them. It's good respect there.
Definitely, not something that is necessary here within GRG eSports. It's actually something that we try to go against this car slowing down on the racetrack. Ideally, everyone tries to keep it at race pace at all times. But obviously it's no harm, no foul if you're letting people by. You manage to do it cleanly. But if you're slowing down, you let someone by, and an incident happens through that, that's probably going to be your fault if you're the one that's deviating from the normal. So it's always going to be something you gotta keep in your mind. Try to not deviate from the normal. As Woodrow is definitely still faster than Schaefer, but just not going to be fast enough. Schaefer here currently 7.5 seconds up on Woodrow, with 3.5 minutes remaining. It's just there's no way that Woodrow makes up that time naturally. It's going to have to be a massive mistake from Schaefer, because I mean we're looking at it's in 4 seconds a lap that Woodrow needs to make up, and that's just
Not happening, is it? It's not.
Definitely not happening.
It's not.
Unless there's a major mistake.
However, throughout the rest of the field, we're looking at pretty much the same story between everyone. About a 5-second gap between every car along the racetrack. It's pretty spread out at the moment here from Hungaroring. Those incidents on the earlier laps on lap 1, lap 2, I think lap 4, lap 5, whatever the one with the 2 Aston Martins was. All those incidents kind of cause a little bit of a spreading out of the field versus what we saw earlier on in the race, where we had that 6-car train for a little while. That lag definitely didn't help either whenever the Lamborghini, the Reader Engineering car, had that massive lag crash story.
They said on Discord that the game crashed to Windows or to home screen.
And it's
So a major issue.
probably one of those unfortunate Unreal Engine crashes that you get every so often with this marvelously stable game engine that ACC runs on.
Yeah, I don't know why they particularly chose this one. Unreal Engine is it's a taxing engine. Like,
I mean, it looks great. To be fair, I mean the Unreal Engine is a very beautiful engine.
It's the best looking sim racing game out there.
As well as the Unreal Engine, from what I understand, it's pretty easy to implement things into. I mean, there's a lot of games that use the Unreal Engine. So I imagine that it's probably a pretty friendly platform to develop on. And especially with the original Assetto Corsa being on a not very great engine by any means, whether it came to graphics, performance, for adaptability, I would definitely say that it was a good move to go to Unreal Engine for a marketability standpoint, but definitely it makes the game much more harder to play. Fortunately, though, they do have the downscale resolution options, though, where you can basically make this game look like as if you're playing it on a Nintendo Game Boy.
For reasons you do that, I'm not too sure.
Yes.
I mean, if you
Next word is
have a computer that is running on a Nintendo Game Boy, I mean, sometimes you need to be able to really lower down those settings to be able to run it on certain computers, and at least they have that ability to do so. But it is basically undrivable. It's so impossible to see whenever you have those settings so low.
You know those like wheels that have like what do you call them? LCD displays.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You port the game. You don't port the game. But you port like your PC to connect to that. You're just watching that while steering the wheel.
Yes. That would actually that would actually be kind of cool. Not gonna lie, like you would be playing the game through your steering wheel. Like that'd be kind of like doing like the Wii U. Basically, it'd be like trying to like hold like the Wii U controller and like playing like Mario Kart with that controller. That would be interesting. For sure.
Oh, yeah, do you remember the racing wheel controller that
Yes.
Nintendo brought out for the Wii? It was just a circle with a bit in the middle.
Yeah, I had that one, and I had like the off-brand one that was like a go-kart wheel. It was just like a cut down the middle.
Time has expired here from Hungaroring as Schaefer making his way through the final corner complex here one last time. The gap got down to 5 seconds. So I mean, Woodrow was close, and had he not had that elongated pit stop, we would have had a really good race for the finish here, I do believe. But Schaefer going to be coming up out of the final corner one more time.
Oh, God, he's already there.
Here he comes across the line, checkered flag, and a victory for Martin Schaefer in the Jaguar. Audi bringing home second for Woodrow. Of course, I jinxed him in qualifying, saying that he's won 2 months in a row. And
2 months in a row. Looks like
he gets beat. The gap here for the final spot on the podium is down to 2.5 seconds, but I do believe it's just a bit too much right now for Trey Wicke to make any sort of attack. So Gavin Moore going to be bringing his way through the final corner complex one last time. Looking to bring home that podium position in the Lamborghini. And Trey Wicke coming up off the final corner as well here. Managed to get that gap down to just about 2.5 seconds there. Pretty close between those two.
That's a very solid recovery drive there from Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I've been put to the back of the field at the start of the race. I'm sure he'd be happy with that one.
Here comes that Bentley. John's Bentley coming across in the 5th position. And a finish there for Keith Hurst as well as Jake Foucher. Both of them being a lap down, of course. They're going to be finishing their races a bit prematurely compared to what the leaders' completed laps would be. As here comes Chris Ayers for the 6th position up off the final corner. And Ramiro Perez up off the final corner. And the Aston Martin, that number 97 car. Your flag is waving for him. One last car to finish here. As the car is creeping along.
Crawling along.
Is this Nissan out of fuel, or what's going on with this car? As they are crawling along.
They want to coast to the finish.
Holden rev steady, but it doesn't sound like it's out of fuel. So not too sure about
just
that.
running the pit limiter around, probably.
There it
Probably
is.
just happening.
So across the line, they are.
There is
That's
your
a pretty-
finishing order. Congratulations to our winner here, Martin Schaefer in the 13 Jaguar.
Green light, go, go, go.
You should. I don't know where Case has gone, but I
Hi.
think we're now. Yeah, oh, she's fine. I think we're now at the
Yeah. So yeah, I was setting up the hanger board for the end of the race there, because OBS had decided to remove it from me. So congratulations there again to Martin Chaffel in the victory, and Ryan Woodrow there for the second, and Gavin Moore for third, bringing home the final podium position. Definitely was a fun race to watch there. Hopefully everyone who is here on the Twitch channel did enjoy. Please be sure to follow us here and subscribe to us if you're on the YouTube video watching this as a VOD or watching it live as well. Go ahead over to our website www.grgesports.com for more information if you'd like to get in on our events. Check out our affiliates, and I did not spell that correctly, did I? Rack Service and Sim Stickers. They're supporters of us, and purchases that you make through them will help support us. And if you do wish to support us, you can subscribe to us here on Twitch, of course, and you can also head over to our Patreon to help us get bigger and better services, and commentary and other things. And all the money that comes in through those goes directly back into trying to make the product here better for everyone.
So that myself.
Supporters, like I said, this couldn't be done without them. Everyone who's subscribed to us on Twitch at the moment, as well as everyone who is a Patreon supporter. These could not happen without them. But so we can't express enough. Goes to them. Thank you to everyone who sat here and viewed, and of course, thanks to everyone who raced with us here today. Hopefully, everyone did enjoy. Until next time. We will be back Saturday for the 4 hours of Monza. So please be sure to follow and tune in for that. And of course on YouTube again, subscribe and be ready to tune in for that. It'll be starting at 1600 UTC, which is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States. And yeah, or actually I do believe it's 11 a.m. now in the United States because of daylight savings time.
And 5 p.m. GMT as well.
So do be sure to tune in for that, and we will see you all then.